Welcome to a very unusual episode of PTV. I'm Trent Herrick. Because of the coronavirus epidemic, school has changed quite drastically. In fact, I'm not even at school. I'm filming this from my home. You'll notice on this episode that most of our stories may look a little different than usual, and that's because instead of using normal video equipment, most PTV staffers are creating their segments only using their iPads. So if this episode looks a little different, well, that is just reflective of the very different times we're experiencing right now. To give you a fun look at what a day in the life of distant learning looks like, take a look at what Meredith Jacobs put together.
I go to my ordered pair, my x value is 0, and tangent of 3 pi over 2 is sine over cosine, or y over x, which
So the first thing we actually need to get in the habit of doing is adding 273.
You're hitting all of the basics, and a lot of these basics show up on the rubric for the final paragraph.
Germany's territories thus far. Okay, so we know that they
If you have any questions on your edits or any of that kind of stuff, which, like I said, the edits that I just did recently and put in Classroom.
Kids, I think they just like to touch everything and each other and so forth. So I don't know. Maybe there's nothing really.
One of the heartbreaks for many PHS students was finding out that their spring activities were canceled for the rest of the school year. JC Roth brings this report on how students are coping with that news.
During this time of social distancing, students aren't just dealing with learning how to manage classes online. They are also dealing with the hardship of having all the spring activities canceled. Forensics tournaments, music contests, and several other traditional spring activities just won't be a part of this school year. For PHS sophomore Jeremy Ford, this has been quite disappointing.
I'm dealing with forensics and music and all that being canceled, really just by getting out there and working with music and forensics and all that. I've even got programs set up to reading to kids because I don't have that the forensics part with me where I can go out and have a good time socializing and stuff like that. I'm probably most disappointed about the fact that they just canceled it completely and they didn't even try at first to have a tournament or a contest immediately after. It kind of took them a while to get situated. But I'm glad that they're trying now, but I wish it would have been better. Through these cancellations, I'm probably going to miss the social aspect of school the most. Both of forensics and music. It was just so good to be able to be with friends and talk and have a good time.
The Kansas State High School Activities Association discussed the possibility of continuing forensics in a virtual setting, but decided against it. But for journalism students, state competition will continue as the Kansas Scholastic Press Association moved their state contest to an online format.
For the journalism contest, the state contest, we are still competing. In fact, we competed on April 18th and 19th. We just did it remotely. The adjustments that KSPA made, normally we have carrying contests that the students do ahead of time, and then they submit online a week prior to the actual contest date. What they did to kind of make adjustments for that, instead of starting over with a whole new contest for state, they just carried over the contest that students had submitted to the regional contest. And so those students who normally have to redo it, they just they didn't have to worry about that. Their contest just got transferred over.
Although the journalism students still get to compete, they are facing a difficult challenge of finishing up the yearbook.
As far as the actual yearbook, we've had some challenges. The biggest challenge probably has been just getting information and the changes that we had to make, because we had various events like, spring sports and prom and, with graduation up in the air. Those are things that we normally cover that are the actual spreads in the yearbook. And so we had to kind of make some adjustments to that since we aren't going to have spring sports or prom. And the kids have done a great job of coming up with alternative pages. We felt like we really needed to cover the coronavirus and how that's impacting learning and just all the events that, we're missing out on and this emotional, turmoil that's happening. And so, we've dedicated some pages to that.
All spring activities are experiencing challenges during this time, so Student Council is trying something to help keep students connected and to still spread a bit of school spirit.
Virtual Spirit Week is similar to Homecoming Spirit Week, but instead of being face-to-face, people post over social media and spread positivity everywhere. We were hoping that students would spread positivity instead of tuning in on the negative things. The Virtual Spirit Week idea came from other schools' Stuco representatives. I think students did very well participating in this activity. I think it was a lot of fun to see everyone's ideas and everyone's positivity spread across the social media.
Despite the sad situation of so many students not being able to participate in the activities they love in the spring, students at PHS are trying to make the most of this. Reporting from my front porch, for PTV, this is JC Roth.
Students have not only had to give up spring activities, but they've also had to give up spring sports. Colette Kennedy shares how students are reacting to that.
An anticipated successful spring sports season was quickly ended due to concerns from the COVID-19 virus.
When we first found out that the track season was going to be canceled, we were actually down in Florida, and we were sitting out on the balcony just looking over everything, and me and my mom just started crying. I mean, we were so heartbroken and so sad that she wasn't going to get to watch me run my senior year, and that I wasn't going to have that experience of running my senior year.
I figured out that track was over around March 17th, and I think my first reaction was just like devastation. I was in denial for a little bit, like, no, it's not going to happen. And then once it was for real, I was kind of depressed and I wish I could have one more year with it. Didn't realize that last year was going to be my last year. It just stinks.
Seniors look back on the goals they had set for the season.
I was most looking forward to trying to get the team to state again for one more year and potentially winning state myself.
Definitely spending more time with friends and making more memories, hopefully making it to state, because that was one of the best experiences, which I'm glad I got to do that last year, but I really wanted to do it again.
Although the season is over, athletes are still remaining active.
So I do yoga, and I also do some cardio workouts that you can either find on YouTube, or I work out in the garage because my dad has some weights in there, so I sometimes do that as well.
I go golfing pretty much every day I can, and then I just usually play or work on whatever part of my game needs work.
For PTV, this is Colette Kennedy.
School life has changed in ways that it never has before, but students are facing changes in other areas as well. When early news spread of the pandemic, grocery stores faced shortages on many items, including toilet paper, bread, eggs, and milk. Finding solutions to these shortages had to be made. In the next segment, Kay Pocketbeer shows us one solution if you happen to run out of milk.
No milk today, it seems a common sight, but people passing by don't know the reason why.
Hello everyone. During this time, some of you have probably went to the grocery store and searched for some milk, but you have found no milk. So today we're going to be making an easy recipe of almond milk. For this recipe, you will need 1 cup of almonds, 4 cups of water, maple syrup, and almond extract. Let's get started. So you're going to want to have your almonds soaking for a minimum of 4 hours. You're going to want to drain them. And you're going to add your 1 cup of almonds. Then you're going to want to add 4 cups of water. There's 2 more cups of water. Then you don't have to do this step, but makes for better flavor. You're gonna add some vanilla, just however much you would like. We're gonna go with that much. Then you're gonna want to add maple syrup. This is the butternut kind. That should be good. Then, you're gonna put your top on. Lock it down. You're gonna blend. Once you have blended it for a while, it's going to come out pretty chunky, but don't worry, we're going to drain that out of there. You're going to want a bowl and a towel, and you're going to pour this through the cloth into the bowl. Once you have poured all of the milk through, going to be left with lots of leftovers. You can just squeeze some of that out of there. And that's all. Almond milk. Normally, I would have students try this milk, but today we are going to have my family members try it. Try this.
Well, it's a little watery, but I think I could eat it on a bowl of cereal and it'll be fine.
Now let's go see what my mom thinks. Mom, try this almond milk.
Yeah, I think it tastes like almond milk. Not too bad. I'm surprised.
Throughout this pandemic, family schedules are chaotic and the grocery bills are increasing. To help alleviate some of that burden, USD 325 is providing breakfast and lunch for area kids. Maverick Hendrick Adams has more on that.
Phillipsburg High School, along with other high schools in the area, are handing out lunches to students who can't have them on their own.
I believe our first day was March 30th. Was the first day that we started handing out meals, and it'll go started at March 30th and it'll go to the end of the school year.
Bursch tells us more on what these lunches actually are.
You know, it's a national program that they put in place. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Cindy in the kitchen would. I just said I'd volunteer and help her out with distributing the lunches when kids pulled up. Just so people were making sure that they were getting meals that would normally get meals at school. And the federal government put the program together for schools to do this type of thing.
Bursch's personal feelings on these lunches.
Hopefully it's impacting students in a positive way, so they're able to get some food, during, when they're doing online classes and things like that. Maybe it helping parents a little bit that aren't having to prepare meals, and a lot of parents are having to work. So I'm thinking, it's helping out with schoolwork and with kids getting nutrition.
For PTV, this is Maverick Hendrick Adams.
Another change many people are facing during these times include the use of protective wear that helps decrease the spread of the virus. Since items like face masks are short in supply, Lizzie Sauer shows us how to make one. Take a look. Although students aren't going to school and many employees aren't able to go to work, some essential businesses must remain available, including daycare providers. Eva Arment shows us how daycare providers are handling the pandemic.
Daycare provider Angela Arment believes that she will remain open during this pandemic.
I do not believe that the daycares will get shut down because we are considered essential workers for doctors, nurses, and they are essential workers.
Many essential workers are very thankful for local daycares during this time.
As for like Matt and I, we both still work. So if the daycares were closed or not open, one of us wouldn't be able to go to work, which then that takes away a paycheck for us and we won't be able to probably support or pay all of our bills. So we're just really appreciative that my daycare is still open and takes my kids every day for me whenever I need it.
Extra precautions have been taking place since COVID-19 has started.
During the COVID-19, we have been taking extra precautions, cleaning the door handles and all the surfaces, wiping them down more frequently during the day.
Because of schools closing down, Angela has had less kids to watch during the day.
Since the COVID-19 hit, I have had less kids in my daycare. The teachers' kids, most of them have been staying home with them, so they're not exposed.
For PTV, this is Eva Arment.
Although the changes we're facing cause a lot of sacrifice and frustrations, there are also some good experiences that can be made. AJ Van Lunen shows us a brighter side of staying at home.
During this time of quarantine and cancellations, students and their families have had to make a lot of sacrifices. It's been really tough on many families. Although we've had to give up so much of our regular routines, there are also some positive that can be taken from this type of situation. I visited with some PHS students to see what they've been doing to find some good in this bad situation.
Some things I've been doing to make my quarantine more positive is spending lots of time with family and working on a lot of schoolwork
and binge watching a lot of Netflix.
Positive way I've been using my quarantine time is I've been getting a lot of time with my little brother, and we've been hanging out a lot. I get to see my family every day when some days I wouldn't be home until 8 at night because I work right after school, so it's nice to be able to have my family around all the time, every day.
While other students enjoy the extra time to spend with their family and pets, others enjoy the new schooling system.
Some positive things about the quarantine is doing the online classes. They are really flexible and I can work at my own pace, and I don't have to always worry about waking up at the same time every day.
Although this is a difficult and challenging time, many students are making the most out of this bad situation. Reporting from my bed, for PTV, this is AJ Van Lunen.
To bring more positivity to a bad situation, Annie Weisar shows us how finding new hobbies during the stay-at-home order can be healthy and fun. Take a look.
Because of recent events, I, as well as many other Americans, am staying as quarantined as I can at the moment. And this is great. I finally have time to work on the projects that I've been putting off. Isn't that just amazing that I can just play video games and work on my comic all day? Isn't it amazing that I have over 100 hours logged on Subnautica already and I only bought it a week ago? I think I need some more hobbies. This week, I'm going to try 5 new hobbies to get me out of my comfort zone during my quarantine. Let's get to it. I don't like coffee, so this is just hot chocolate and 5-hour energy. This is a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll be fine, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, the good Lord knows it. Oh, the good Lord knows it. I left better behind, I'll be fine, yeah, yeah. Make my mama turn another blind eye, yeah, 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 yeah. I left better behind, I'll be fine. I left your note on the wall. Don't worry, I'm not gonna
Our seniors are probably the students who are most affected by all the cancellations this spring semester, but our class of 2020 is strong, and together we give you this message.
We are the class of 2020.
This was the year that was supposed to be remembered
as the best one out of all of the high school years.
But instead, we will remember it
as the one that didn't go as planned.
The one that we never fully got.
The one where we got quarantined.
The one where we actually wished we were in classrooms for once.
We are the class of 2020.
But we can help.
We can flatten the curve.
We can do all of the things we are being told to do.
Like washing our hands, social distancing, and
staying inside.
We have a chance to do something great and to help save lives.
We are the class of 2020.
We can get through this together.
We can make the most of the now.
And turn things to a positive light.
Oh, class of 2020!
The memories we make will be different.
But they will be special and will definitely be remembered.
We will come together and be stronger together.
Because we are the class of 2020.
We will overcome this as we have learned.
To overcome any obstacle that has come our way in the past 18 years.
And we know we can do this.
Because we are hardworking and determined.
Because we are the future.
We are future veterinarians.
Future athletes.
Future healthcare professionals.
And nothing can stop us.
We are the class of 2020.
Although so many traditions have to be put on hold this year, there is one PTV tradition that still remains. The final senior song. This one's for you, class of 2020.
We're leaving, yeah, we're leaving now. We can go anywhere, do anything, we're leaving now. We're leaving, yeah, we're leaving now. Say our goodbyes, time sure flies, yeah, we're leaving now. Feels like we've just begun, now it's time to run. This time has sure been fun, and now we're finally done. We knew this sad day would come, teachers feeling bummed. Feels like we've just begun, you'll find us graduating. You'll find us graduating. You'll find us graduating. The diploma's waiting. We'll be the first ones to go. No, we ain't coming back. And now it feels so amazing. You see us coming and we'll never grow old again. You'll find us graduating. We're never down. Looking up, feeling good as we're leaving now. We're never down. Live forever with you around. Feels like we've just begun. Now it's time to run. This time has sure been fun. And now we're finally done. We knew this sad day would come. Teachers feeling mum. Feels like we've just begun. You'll find us graduating. Find us graduating. You'll find us graduating. You'll find us graduating. We're celebrating. Send our goodbyes to our friends.
That wraps up another episode and season of PTV. Stay safe and healthy, and of course, stay classy, Phillipsburg High.
You can't touch this. 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 Touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. touch this. Touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.